What's up, everybody? It's 8 o'clock, and you already know what time it is. It's time for my show, The Mecca James Show. I'm telling you, people, call somebody up, text a friend. It is going down. This is a new year, new ideas, and a whole new show. I have a special guest on the show today, and I'll tell you all about it. She is from the hottest show on VH1 right now, Basketball Wives. And we have Miss Tami Roman will be on the show. And let me tell you, we're just going to talk about so many different things, and I'm going to ask her some questions. The newest cast member of VH1 Basketball Wives on the show, she's the ex-wife of NBA player Kenny Anderson. She is on the line. She is in the building, and it's about to go down. I give you Miss Tami Roman. Let's give it up. Hey, how you doing, Tami?
I'm good. It's snowing in New York City, girl. I'm standing outside talking to you.
Oh, my God. You know, it's I'm from New York City, born and raised in Harlem, so the snow is coming. But how you doing, Mama?
Everything's going well. You know, I can't complain. God is good.
God is good all the time. So I just want to say you're one of the realest cast members on the show, and as soon as I heard that Tami was going to be on the show from way back in the day, I used to watch MTV, The Real World, and I said, I have to have you on the show because real recognize real.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem, no problem. So everybody out there, Tami is on the line. Call someone up. Text a friend. It's going down. I got people in the chat room. I got people on the line listening. It's the Mecca James Show. And I just want to ask you a couple of questions, Tami. And, you're the realest one in the show, so I know you're a straight shooter. Where have you been? It's been a long time since we've seen you.
Actually, I've been around. I've been working a lot, about 10 years, grinding, doing a lot of guest starring work. I just came off of a show for CBS called Moonlight. I've been doing my thing. I've been out there.
Okay. Well, that's good. I remember you did a movie with Monique, and I was like, that's Tami. You played the hairstylist. I forgot the name.
Yeah, that's Hair Show.
Hair Show. Exactly. What I want to say is, you did The Real World. Now, I've been a fan of The Real World since way back when. That was one of the original reality shows.
Right.
What was it like to do that show?
Well, it was way different than it is right now because they basically moved us into the house and, we taped nonstop 24 hours a day for like three and a half months. Where now, we show up, so to speak. We have set locations, we can still have our personal lives. So that was one of the main differences, and, of course, the social media. We didn't have Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff back in the day. So you couldn't really hear right away what people were thinking about what you were doing, and, that has to be the biggest change.
Exactly. I mean, I've been getting so many calls and texts and everything about the episode on Sunday, and I know I'm going to get into all of that, and you can clear everything up on that. But I just want to give you a couple of other questions about the show. Were there many opportunities for you after The Real World?
Yeah, there were several opportunities. It's funny because I actually entered into a development deal with MTV, started doing a lot of hosting work for them, and Paramount Pictures was actually going to do my own talk show back in the day. I turned away from all of that to get married to Kenny, and start a family. So there were a lot of things popping off. That's how I actually entered into the acting field.
Okay, that's a good look, and you've been doing your thing ever since. Do you ever keep up with did you ever keep in touch with any of the cast members, Dominic, any of them, Beth, any of them?
I don't really talk to anybody from the show too much. I actually heard from John from the show recently, but for the most part, everybody's kind of, going on with their lives and doing their own things.
Okay, well, that's always a good thing. So now we're going to get into it. Now we're going to get into what everybody's waiting for. You married NBA player. Well, Kenny Anderson. In case you don't know Kenny Anderson, yes. Tell us a little bit about that. How did you meet? How did you and Kenny meet?
I was working for MTV, doing a couple of hosting things for them, MTV Jams. They had that show back in the day, and Beach House back in the day. And I was in New York, and my cousin Shauna invited me to a party that Anthony Mason, who used to play for the Knicks at the time, was having. And we went to the party, and Kenny was there, and that's how we met. He came up and, you know, started talking to me, and then from that moment on, you know, we talked on the phone a lot, and it just kind of developed into a relationship, and we were married shortly thereafter.
Okay. Well, that was a good look. And what I was going to say, how long were you married for? Because everybody want to know how long
6 years.
was Tami married for? 6 years. 6
yeah,
years.
We were married for 6 years.
Okay. So tell us right now, because, you know, I'll get into all of that. What happened in 2001? In case people don't know the whole story.
I think I just had gotten to the point where I'd had enough, you know. Our marriage wasn't really that healthy. You know, there was a lot of abuse issues physically, verbally. You know, there were a lot of infidelity issues. So I had just got to the point where it wasn't healthy for me and my daughters to stay in that relationship. So I decided to, you know, file for divorce.
Okay. And that's where
simple.
we come through. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, but you never know.
Yeah.
There's some women out there that drag it out. So that's why, you know, a lot of people were saying that, oh, you know, we just saw Tami on the show. I said, but you don't know her story. Like I tell a lot of people, you might see someone's glory, but you don't know their story. So that's why I wanted her to have it on the show, because I think you're just a real person overall. You're just a straight shooter, and that's the reason why you're on the Mecca James show.
Thank you.
Now, also I wanted to know, what made you want to do another reality show, you know, basketball-wise? What made you want to do that?
Actually, I never wanted to go back to reality. I tried so hard for the past 10 years to separate myself from reality. And when they did the first season, VH1 reached out to my management, and I said no. And I watched the first season and felt like my story wasn't really represented. You know, like they were living a life of luxury, all glitz and glam and, you know, nice cars, beautiful houses, you know, all that stuff, and that wasn't really my moment. So when the second season came around, I actually reached out to them and said, you know, let me get up on there and really tell some real issues, some real things that I'm going through that maybe a lot of people out there can relate to. And I gave them a couple of, you know, storylines that I thought would be interesting, and they were very receptive. And that's what you guys are witnessing, my family's journey, how we're trying to rebuild and reestablish, and, you know, just Kenny and I working together instead of opposing each other all the time and try to make a better situation for our daughters.
Exactly. Because you need that. And I think a lot of people love you. I'm not going to say your character, love you in general, because you bring such a realness to it. It's like a different side of it. They're like, okay, I can ride with Tami. I understand this. So that's another reason why there were so many people that reached out to me that was like, I'm so happy that she's on the show. She's showing another side of basketball wives and just women in general that's been married.
Right, that's the thing. I don't think my story is just indicative to having been married to an NBA player. I think it's just something that women go through in relationships all the time. And that's what I wanted to bring to the show, some value, some substance. You know, we're not all catty females, you know, and just some real issues that people are dealing with.
Now, people wanted to know, and I have put it on Facebook and some on Twitter. They was like, well, I didn't want to. I was going to go into it later. They was like, well, what is the situation right now with you and Kenny Anderson? Is he paying child support? What is that situation as of right now?
Well, no, Kenny, you know, hasn't paid child support since 2006, 2005, really. But so you know, he's way in arrears. But you know, I finally got to a point in my life where I wasn't going to, you know, allow somebody else to dictate how my life should go. And my relying on him to do the right thing for his children was actually enabling me from stepping up to the plate and doing the right thing for my daughter. So him not paying child support actually took me all the way to the bottom, but it was a journey that needed to be taken because I needed to get back to me, get back to the things that were important to me, you know, get back to my morals, my spiritual foundation, and really step up to the plate and be a proper mother and role model for my children. So, no, he hasn't paid his child support, but, you know, something good came out of it in terms of no, he hasn't paid his child support, but something good actually came out of it in terms of my growth and doing the right things for them.
I think in certain situations, it'll make you stronger. You think it's bad at the beginning, but you don't really know your strength unless you go through something. And I always say, don't give me someone that has the glitz and glam of everything. It's not how you fall, it's how you get back up. And that's why I think, Tami, I'm not sure if you're doing this now, but I think you should do a book. You really need to do a book. Yeah.
I'm actually working on a book right now with a young lady named Falana Bowles, who's, you know, my writer, and we sit and we talk and we have conversations, and she's putting my words to paper. And I think that people are going to be surprised at my entire journey, because for the most part they see snapshots of my life, you know, what the editors choose to show them of a specific moment in my life. And I think if they really just get to know me and understand me and why I do the things I do, why I act the way that I act, you know, I think that they will come to terms with who I am as a person. So that's in the works right now.
Okay, that's a good look. I wanted to say, do you think people are intimidated? This is just a question that came to my mind. Do you think people are intimidated by you because of your personality? Because you give up an aura like, I'm not having it, you're going to respect me, or it's going to be problems. Do you think people are intimidated by your strong personality?
I think that certain people are intimidated by it, and yes, of course. You know, but I am that type of person that just, you know, says what I need to say. That's how my mother raised me, and, you know, she raised me to have a certain level of respect for myself, and in order for you to be in my space, you have to give me that amount of respect that I deserve. And so that can be intimidating to people who aren't secure within themselves.
Definitely. And you know what I wanted to know? I'm not even sure if you remember this, and this could be past tense. There was an episode of MTV Sweet 16, and in case people out there don't know, Kenny Anderson was also married to Cinderella from Salt and Pepper. She was the DJ for Salt and Pepper. Now,
well, they weren't married, but they do have a daughter together. They weren't.
Okay, they do. Oh, they weren't?
Yeah, but no, they were not married, but they do have a beautiful daughter together.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. Now, she was on Sweet 16. I'm not sure if you remember that. How did that make you feel? I don't even want to ask this question, but somebody was on Twitter and told me to ask you that. How did that make you feel if you saw that episode? And you
I did see that episode.
Okay. And you have two daughters by Kenny, which is now your ex-husband, and you're struggling. How did that make you feel as a woman in general, not just even an actress? How did that make you feel?
Oh, I was very proud of Spin because she paid for the whole thing. She did it big for Christy, and I'm so proud of her.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure his contribution, I'm sure his contribution was minimal compared to what she actually did for her daughter, stepping up to the plate, doing it herself.
Okay. Now we got it, because someone out there was like, well, how can he do this for this person? So you cleared it up. That was basically on Spin. All right, we got that. Let's keep that one moving. Now, what I was going to say is, there was an episode that was real touching to me. It was you, your two beautiful daughters, which they are so beautiful. They look just like you. And Kenny, and there was a mediator there. When was the last time you saw Kenny before that case, before that incident?
Actually, Kenny and I haven't really been in the same space for well over 6 years. And he hasn't really been around my daughters for at least 10 years. So my oldest daughter is 16. and we were divorced when she was 6. And the times that he actually saw her may have been 3 times within that 10-year span.
Okay, so that was really the first time in 10 years that all of you were together in one room.
Yes, yes.
Wow, so that was very emotional. And I want to say that you are raising your daughters to be such young ladies. They're so articulate, and, they really express themselves. You understand what I'm saying? And that just touched me. It was really touching to me.
Thank you. I'm trying to do it. I'm
trying
to do it.
You are doing it. You are doing it, and trust me, if you don't know, there's a lot of people that's riding for you. Because let me tell you, I don't know you personally, but if they say anything about Tami, I'm be like, what? You don't know her story. You don't know what she's been through. What are you talking about? And we'll get to that episode. Oh, she did this, she did that. I said, everybody has a moment. You just call her moment on TV. You understand what I'm saying? And if you didn't, you know somebody that did. So stop fronting.
Thank you for that.
You also, I got you. They've been coming at me heavy with that one from Sunday, but it's all good though. I wanted to know, what was your reason or your motivation for being on the show? What was the reason? You just wanted to bring a different outlook on the whole show in general? The motivation?
Like I said, for me, it was about getting some closure from my daughters and my family, allowing them to be able to say what they needed to say to Kenny, and then using that forum as a way to enlighten others. If people are going through that situation themselves in their lives, just maybe using us as a template on how to just get past some things, work through some situations, because the kids are the ones that are really affected when parents get divorced, and so I just really wanted people to see that. I mean, there are more things that are coming up, during the season that people will see, that I'm trying to bring and trying to offer. So, not to get into too much of it, but that was my main motivation. So in terms of what I was trying to do with being involved on the show, I got that accomplished.
Yes, you definitely did. And I wanted to say I commend you for that. You put everything out there. So my next question was, what made you open up about being on food stamps and after your divorce? In case people don't know, this is why I have you on the show. What made you just open up and just, forget it? You told Shawnee, the world knows. What made you do that? Because some people are so closed in, even on reality show, and I think that's why we gravitate to you, because you just bring so much of the realness to it.
Well, that was it. I just wanted to be completely real. A lot of people think, that I took half his money when we got divorced and that I'm so rolling and everything is all gravy, and that's not really the case. At that particular time, our family fell on hardship. And so I just wanted to let people know the real story. I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. I'm not trying to put up a facade. I'm just trying to open my life up, and hopefully people can learn from it. My hardship came because I made improper financial decisions. I didn't take into account my children's future because I was too busy letting everybody who's so busy talking on Twitter and all the media, dictate how I lived my life. I got to live in this kind of house. I got to drive this kind of car. I got to wear these kind of clothes, and not really saving and investing and making the proper decisions for their future. And so I have to suffer the repercussion of those bad actions. And it led me to having to, apply for food stamps and medical assistance. So I wanted to show people, don't talk about the fact that I'm on food stamps. Talk about the fact of how I got there and what you're really going to do to make sure that you don't. That's really the lesson that I was hoping people would learn from my situation. But everybody's so concerned about, a food stamp. And that's not really what I was trying to bring.
That's what I wanted you to bring across, because it's, to me, like Evelyn and Jennifer and the rest of them, because some of them are basketball wives, fiancés, and girlfriends. To me, I would look at you and say, you know what happened? Like, how did you get in that predicament? I have to do certain things so that I won't get in this predicament. You know, it's not about
exactly.
the Gucci and the Prada and the things like that.
Exactly. That's what I was hoping they would do.
But did they even come to you? Because Jennifer's in a situation right now. She might be divorced with retired NBA Boston Celtics Eric Williams. Did she ever come to you, you know, before that and say, you know what, Tami, I'm going through this situation right now? Like, did she come to you with some advice or
no,
did any of the
not so
realness
much.
come up?
Not so much because, you know, Jennifer's very slightly introverted. You know, she keeps a lot of things inside, and she keeps her personal situation personal. And because I was new coming into the situation, I guess she really didn't want to, you know, divulge too much to me. But I would have gladly, had they asked me, I would have gladly opened myself up, because that's what I felt my purpose was, to be there, you know, to just, you know, try to just in any way that I can enlighten them so that they don't end up in this situation.
That's what I thought you would get from the show. So speaking of Jennifer, I'm going to throw out some cast members. And what's your situation? A friend, you know, associate? What about
you? Don't need to throw out their names, because I can sum it up in one sentence for everybody. We are all cordial.
100%. Okay. Can you say that again?
We are all cordial. You know, it's like we can coexist in a room. We have our differences. We can agree to disagree. I'm the type of person, I don't like to use words lightly. They mean a lot to me. I don't call everybody my friend, because everybody is not. But in this particular situation, we are cordial.
Okay. That's exactly how I do. I don't call everybody a friend. You're associate. If you get mad, you get mad. But I'm telling you to your face. And so that's exactly what Tami just did.
Right. No,
so
that's it in a nutshell. You know, there's potential of friendships, but at the moment, it's cordial.
Okay. All right. I can see. I'm not sure, because Royce has that kind of personality. Well, kind of. Maybe that could be potential. I could be wrong. That's the only thing I can see. Now, since we're going to get into the show Basketball Wives, can you let people know actually what happened this Sunday? Because I know they edit and they cut and, you know, they dramatize certain situations. Can you tell in your own words what happened this last Sunday?
Well, basically what happened, what you guys saw, we had actually been in each other's company in between that moment that you guys actually witnessed. And someone brought it back to my attention that Jennifer was making jokes about the fact that I was on food stamps. Not that she hadn't seen one. That's not what we're talking about. But just kind of like belittling my situation. And I have wanted to speak to her about it, but I live in New York and they live in Miami, and I was only coming down on the weekends for tapings, so I never really got my opportunity to address the situation. Now, the event that we were at, I didn't even know they were coming. And, you know, I was there at the charity event. I had a drink. I'm not a drinker. And it just took me somewhere that I didn't need to go. And when I saw her, as it has been on my mind to address the situation, it came out at that event. And that's basically what happened. That's basically it in a nutshell.
Let me tell you what happened, because I got you on this one. Like I said earlier, everybody has a moment. But for Jennifer alone, I'm not just going to point out Jennifer. When you first came and Shawnee, in case you don't know the episode, when Shawnee introduced you, and when you came back to the table, they were not talking about, Shawnee was like, well, you know, she's been through some hard times. You know, she even had to go on food stamps. At that particular time when Jennifer brought that up, they were not talking about that. So that was kind of sarcastic right then and there. So I can understand where you're coming from, and maybe that happened along the line. And I was like, wait a minute. They just brought that up sarcastically. They wasn't talking about that at the table. You understand? Just to see your reaction. I'm not sure if you saw that tape. And I was like, oh, no.
And then I'm a real chick. You know, I went to the bathroom. I know y'all was talking. I came right back and was like, what y'all say about me? Let's put it all out on the table. Nobody said anything to my face. And I don't operate like that. You know, just like when I went to the charity event, Ashley standing in my face rather than talk behind her back, ask people questions. She's right here. I'm just going to ask you what I want to know. And then we can move past it. You know, that's the type of person that I am. And some people can't really deal with that.
I mean, I can definitely deal with it. It's a good look. We need that. We need that on the show because, for me, you're the realest on the show. And if we don't have that, then it's not really reality TV. People gravitate to people like you, Atlanta Housewives, Nene, because you really put your feelings out there. And people listen. They can see it. They definitely can see it.
Right. You know,
now,
we're just being ourselves.
Now, a lot of fellas hit me up. You know, they was like, ask Tami, does she have someone special in her life? Will she go up with an average cat? Okay, let people know. What's your status? Are you seeing somebody? You have someone in your life? Let the brothers know out there because they've been hitting me up. Including my brother.
I am seeing someone. Shout out to Mecca's brother. No, I am seeing someone, though. We've been together for 3 years. I wouldn't consider him an average cat. You know, he's in the film game. But just, you know, he's not an athlete. You know, we share a lot of common interests with regard to entertainment. He's family-oriented. He's Haitian. Sac-passe, all my Haitians. And, you know, it's just all love. And I think at this point in my life, I just needed somebody to love on me. And that's what he offers me. That's what he offers my daughters. And he's very supportive. And, you know, it's just a good place to be for me right now.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you found someone in your life that you sound happier. You understand? What makes you so strong? Is it your spiritual connection, religious, family, friends? How did you? Because some women will go all the way down and you will be like, oh, my God, you'll see them in the newspaper somewhere. What made you have that so much strength to say, you know what, I have to rebuild myself for my kids?
You know, God, my mother, and then I have a strong family, you know, unit. I mean, like my cousin Shauna is always been in my corner and praying for me, and my mother's in my corner praying for me. And sometimes when you're not praying for yourself, as long as others are praying for you, you know, that can strengthen you and lift you up as well. So it's primarily for me just the love of God and my strong family foundation. And like I say, right now at this point I have a significant other that shares my love of God, and that helps me continue to be strong and stay in this place that I'm in.
Yes, equally yoked. That's beautiful
right.
thing. That's a beautiful thing. You know my grandmother taught me well. But anyway, I know that you have to go, but there are so many people on the line, and I know I have a lot of questions, and I don't want to go back and forth, just me and you. Would you take some calls, Tami, for some people?
I'll take 2 or 3. My daughters are standing here waiting for me to get on this train. I'm riding the train, y'all. I'm really keeping it real. But I'll take 2 or 3 before I get on the train.
That's cool. People, I'm going to take like 2 calls. Your last digits right now is 2054. You up next with Tami Roman. Let's go. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's your question?
Okay, my name is Fernita, and I'm calling from Los Angeles, California. I was on Twitter. Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
Yes, Mama. Yeah. What's your question?
Okay. No, I don't have a question. I have an apology to you because I said some things on Twitter to you yesterday, and I didn't know the full episode of the show and that they edit, and I'm a big enough woman to say that I'm sorry to you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Wow, that is wonderful.
Yes. And
Thank you so much.
And in actuality, they had the wrong number on there. I actually went online. They had the wrong area code so that I could apologize to you, and I'm real sorry for what I said to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. You know,
Okay.
I got a lot of stuff coming my way from Twitter yesterday. So I am humbled by you, and I thank you so much for standing up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's a real person right there. I'm gonna take one more call. Your last digit is 6080. You up next. Get your questions. Let's go. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Tami.
Yes.
Hi. How you doing?
Hi.
It's not a question. It's a comment. I just want to
Okay.
let you know that I think you are so beautiful. You and your two daughters. Keep being the strong mother that you are. You are very inspiring for all women out there, black, white, all colors, all nations. And we love you. My family, we love that you're on the show. We love you from the real world. And we just love that you're on the Basketball Wives and that you're keeping it real. Thank you so much for being you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do.
And my name is Donna. I didn't say my name at first.
Okay, no problem. And where you calling from?
Thank you, Donna.
It's Mecca, so yeah, I know how, you know. But God bless you and your girls. They're beautiful. You're beautiful. And keep it going.
Thank you. Much love to you.
See, I love when the positivity comes, because I was going to shut it down if it say anything negative. But anyway, I'm going to ask you. I got you. Well, anyway, I wanted to ask you, would you ever marry again? We're going to ask you a couple of questions, and, you know, I know you got to go. Would you ever marry again?
You know, the only person that I would think about marrying is the man I'm with now, and we've both been married before. So right now at this point, you know, we're just taking it one day at a time, taking it a stride. We've talked about it, you know, but not really like put any, you know, our official stamp on it. But
okay.
You know, I would love to be married again, but I don't know if that'll ever happen.
I see it in the future. I mean, I'm not, you know, psychic, but I can see that happening.
You can see it for me.
But let me ask you a question. How do you feel about prenuptial agreements, or would you ever sign another one? Because that's what basically happened, the whole prenup situation and, you know, just not knowing. Would you ever sign a prenuptial agreement again?
Well, here's the thing. I signed the prenuptial agreement because I never thought that I'd be divorced. I never thought that it would really have any bearing on my future. You know, I always felt that having a person sign a prenup was basically trying to solidify their love for you, make sure they love you, and understand that if anything goes wrong, they don't get anything. And that wasn't my moment because I was really in love with Kenny at the time. But if I were to get married again, in retrospect, a prenuptial agreement is nothing but a contract. And if you have to put a contract on love, then that's not the person that I need to be with. So I would never do it. My next marriage contract is going to be between me, the man, and God, and there's no paper involved.
That's what I'm talking about. Actually, I had Little Mo on the show, and she said a prenup is not an option. And she said divorce is not an option, and that was a good look. So I also just want to ask you a couple of questions. What advice would you give to the rest of the cast of Basketball Wives that, you know, that's going to be married? What advice would you give them on marrying a basketball player? Because obviously they didn't ask you that.
Well, I think most of the women on there know this, and the most important thing is, and it's not necessarily relative to a basketball player, this is women in any relationship, whether it's the UPS guy, the Popeye chicken man, the Wall Street broker, whoever, you know, you have to hold on to you. You have to never lose sight of who you are as a person, and don't let your alternate reality become your real life reality. And sometimes when you enter into certain situations, your perception can be altered. So hold on to you and who you were before you entered into that situation. Whatever dreams you had, whatever goals you were working towards, whatever things were important to you, continue those things and hold on to them. And I actually have a story on my blog where I say you have to respect Beyonce and Eva Longoria because they hold on to them. And the men that are involved in their lives are respectful of that. And should things not work out, they could step off and still be independent and consistent with their lives the way they're going right now. And so that's the key element for women to understand. Do you at all times.
Do you and be you all the time.
Yeah.
Now, people want to know, how are you sustaining yourself with your daughters? Like, how are you how are you getting by now? Since Kenny's not paying child support and you doing your thing, how are you maintaining with that financially?
Oh, I work. Okay. I get up every day and I go to my office, 8 to 5. I'm there every day, Before I met Kenny, before I was even on the Real World, I used to work at an HIV healthcare center, and I've always been in corporate America, and I just returned back to that. I work for a very large firm, and I'm, pretty successful within the firm, and, just doing what I do.
Okay. But
I'm on the train every day.
And I'm from New York, so Tammy, we got to hang out. We got to hang out.
Yes.
We got to hang out. But what I want to know is, your daughter, Jazz, she's a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
How is that going? Your youngest daughter.
Yes, it's going pretty well, actually. She's actually my two daughters are in a group. And they are putting together their demo. Yes, they're looking for their third member because they want to be this era's TLC.
Okay.
But they're working it out and they're grinding. And, I support them. I'm a very hands-on mother. I'm in the studio with them. I'm listening to tracks with them. They're taking meetings with managers now. I'm very, very involved with that. I'm not going to let anybody dictate or put their opinions off on my children. I am involved and will be there. But it's looking good for them, and I'm very proud of them.
Now, I have one more question. What is next for you,
Oh,
Tammy?
Mecca, you done had one more question for about 20 questions now.
We love you. We love you. We love all the questions we got.
Girl, it's snowing.
All that. Oh, it is. Let me get you up. Let me let you get ready to go. What's next for Tammy? And then that's it.
Okay. I got the book coming out. I got a T-shirt line coming out. I'm working with this charity called Project Girl, and I'm really passionate about this charity. They are an organization that takes girls from 13 to 18 and teaches them spoken word and poetry. And they're a traveling troupe that goes around to urban cities and mentoring young girls on the issues of self-esteem and, just a lot of the issues that young girls are facing. So I stand behind this charity 110%. And, Tyler Perry need to call me. I don't know why he's playing. But he needs to go and call me. And I'll get back into the acting thing, as soon as my oldest daughter graduates. I'll be moving back to L.A., and just trying to keep grinding and keep doing what I love to do.
And I want to say thank you for coming on the show. If you could say you're listening to the Mecca James Show, this is Tami Roman, and that's it. I love you, Tammy. I'm riding for you.
Thank you, Mama.
I love you. Let me just tell you, I just love you on the show, and keep being you. So if you could say this is the Mecca James Show, and this is Tami Roman from Basketball Wives, you can go, get on the train with your daughters, and do your thing.
Okay. All right. Excuse me. This is Tami Roman from VH1's Basketball Wives 2, and you are listening to the Mecca James Show.
All right, Mama. We got to hang out, and I'm following you on Twitter. God bless you and your family and everything that you're going to do, because you're going to make it. You're going to make it. All right, Tammy. I know I got a lot of people on the line, but she got to go, y'all.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again, and then that way we can answer the questions next time. Nothing but questions.
Okay. All right. All right, then,
All right? All right. Love you, Mama. Bye.
Love you, too. Bye. All right, people, you heard it. That was Tami Roman from VH1's Basketball Wives. And let me tell you, the reason why I had her on the show, because she's such a down-to-earth individual. And, yes, Sunday episode was a little crazy, but that's not her whole story. So you heard her story on the Mecca James show, and I just Watch what we